Hi everybody, this is Sofia Axelrod. I'm a sleep scientist and I wrote a book about baby sleep. It's called How Babies Sleep. It's right here. It has been translated in 11 languages, is on sale in over 30 countries. I also have a baby sleep app and a baby sleep lamp. My almost 3-year-old uses a pacifier while sleeping. How do I get rid of this dependency? That's a big problem because at 3 years old that's really part of their habit to sleep, and unfortunately there is only one way to do it. You need to do a pacifier detox, and I think it's important to understand that, like you say, it's really a dependency and it's really a comfort thing for them. So just taking it away is very hard. Think about things that can replace the pacifier as something that's very comforting, and be ready for a few days where you might need to comfort them a lot more. Sleep advice for teens. Great question. Teenagers have a naturally late circadian rhythm, so they're natural night owls, and that's why for example, in California, since this year, school times are later, because for teenagers to be getting up at 6 is literally the middle of the night. So it's important to understand that their rhythm is naturally shifted, and then it's extra important to make sure they are not exposed to the wrong light in the evening. That means devices, screens, they all have a lot of blue light, and you want to make sure that all these filters are active. The blue light filters, night shift, night mode, for computers also something called flux. All that stuff filters out the blue light, which tells the teenager's body it's actually time to be awake and can help them transition to bed more easily. My 6-month-old baby is taking short naps. How can I help him connect cycles? That's a very common problem, and movement is your friend. Whether that's a hammock, whether that's rocking in the stroller inside, whether that's going for a walk outside. For younger babies, I recommend baby swings also. All that can help connect the sleep cycle so that the naps are not so short. How can I help my 4-year-old to sleep better and not be dependent on me to fall asleep? Very tough at 4 years, because again, at this age, children have really established these connections. What do I need to fall asleep? And they will really expect that. So it's very tough to break. We've been in that situation ourselves. So you know, it depends. If everything else about their sleep is fine, so they fall asleep quickly and they sleep through the night, then sometimes it's almost like, okay, I have to lay next to him to fall asleep at night, but it's kind of not the worst thing. If this takes you 2 hours and they wake up in the middle of the night and don't go back to sleep, then something else is the problem. It's not just about you. It's actually typically the schedule that is off. And it's actually the same stuff that I talked about earlier, the circadian rhythms, and the sleep pressure is out of whack. So I can help with that, and I actually built an app specifically to figure out exactly how much sleep a particular child at a certain age needs, and when you should be putting them to bed, and how many naps and how long they should be taking, so that nighttime sleep is maximized. When do newborns start sleeping less time? Very quickly. So I have this nifty chart in my account or in my book or in the app that shows that actually sleep really reduces very quickly. You know, a newborn sleeps basically 20 hours a day, and a 1-year-old already sleeps only 13 hours a day in total, right? So there's like this really fast reduction in total sleep. Here in my book I have this sleep chart. And this is like basically by age. Newborn sleep this much, and it goes down very quickly. And the thing that goes down the fastest is naps. So it's important to understand that naps really get reduced. And so when I hear a baby's or a child's starting to resist naps, that really just means that they need less sleep. And if you want to maintain a longer nighttime sleep, follow that cue and start shortening naps and cutting out naps because your child is showing you they need less sleep. So to answer the question, it happens continuously. Immediately you will see, you know, from week 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, they will be awake more and more during the day and sleep better at night if you follow the cue. How to deal with changes in a toddler's sleep environment when traveling. Another huge question, important question, especially now we have July 4th coming up in the summer. My kids actually just went to Germany yesterday And that's a big time change. It's a 6-hour time change. And I have actually a specific method and a whole chapter in my book about traveling with kids and specifically jet lag. Because there are certain things we understand from sleep science and circadian rhythm that can basically completely avoid jet lag. But if it's just about, okay, I'm going to a different house and or I'm going to a hotel, there are things you can do that will make this transition as smooth as possible. And the trick is to make sure that the child is on a good schedule before you go anywhere. If at home your sleep is not working well, this is just going to be another factor that makes it harder. So establishing a good schedule while you're at home is key to any such changes in the sleep environment, because it won't matter at all. If your baby or toddler knows that this is bedtime, this is morning wake time, it won't matter if you're at home or somewhere else. But if these things are very variable, then the additional factor of being somewhere else will be a problem. Something that I do recommend really strongly is considering the light environment, because light affects circadian rhythms. And if you don't have, for example, blackout shades where you're going, get portable blackout shades for cribs. They have these really cool things that can go over a crib to completely block out the light. Because if where you're going, light is coming through the window at 5 a.m., then that will be when your baby wakes up. There is nothing that you can do about that. And conversely, you can travel with my kulalaland, although it's probably a little heavy. Try to get just red light bulbs, for example, or a little red night light that you can use in the evening for bedtime routine. If you use that at home, and I do recommend a red night light at home. What do you recommend for a 1-year-old waking up in the middle of the night for a bottle of milk, sometimes twice? I recommend that your 1-year-old does not need to feed at night. Typically babies that are 11 pounds have ever slept 5 hours. Well, this is for younger children. If your baby is 11 pounds, has ever slept more than 5 hours at night and doesn't seem very hungry when they wake up in the middle of the night, they typically are ready to not feed anymore in the night. And we can do something which I call gentle sleep training, and that is described in my book and also in my Kula lab. For a 1-year-old, and then when they're like 4 to 6 months, all babies can go all night without feeding, except for, if there are any health concerns like preemies growth. So check with your pediatrician. For a 1-year-old, I'm pretty confident that they do not need to be fed at night. So again, it's very important that the schedule is established before we do gentle sleep training, because if you're trying for your baby, for example, to sleep more at night than they're physically capable of, then it will be very hard to not feed them. So look at the content in my account to find the sleep schedule that shows how much a 1-year-old should be sleeping during the day. Actually, I can tell you right now, based on this thing that I just showed you. Okay, a 1-year-old should be sleeping 11 on average. So averages, of course, don't apply to all babies, but this is a good, milestone, a good kind of benchmark. So a 1-year-old sleeps 11 hours at night and only naps for an hour and a half. So if your baby naps more than that and has problems sleeping at night, my advice is always shorten the naps. Shorten the naps. It can be 1 or 2 naps still at 1 year. That's, it doesn't matter. But the total amount of naps should not be longer than an hour and a half. And if they're much higher, then this will have a huge effect on your baby's sleep. And then at night we said just 11 hours. So if you want to be getting up, say at 9 p.m. should be the bedtime, not earlier, because then they're just not tired enough and they will be waking up in the middle of the night. And then once this is set, you can do the gentle sleep training, which I kind of came up with based on science that shows that delaying responding to baby just for a minute and a half teaches them to fall back asleep on their own, because they actually need to learn how to fall back on their own. And if you taught them not in a just because it's an obvious thing to do, that milk is what they need to fall back asleep, then this is what they will expect. So we want to teach them, oh, no, you don't need milk. You can do that on your own. So just by letting them be, they're like, I want my milk, but then they learn pretty quickly, maybe I don't. So delaying responding by a minute and a half. And my app has actually this nifty timer, so you don't have to worry or think about how to do that. You just click start, and then the timer will tell you, okay, now I can go and placate my baby, which is of course what we want to be doing. Does melatonin help with older kids, or what natural foods to enjoy before bedtime? Great question too. Melatonin, is hotly debated right now, but from a scientific perspective, and again, I'm not a medical doctor, always check with your pediatrician, it can be a great tool if circadian rhythms are the problem. So for example, some of us are natural morning larks, which love being up in the morning. Some of us are natural night owls. And the same is true for babies and children and teenagers, because it's our genes, it's the genetic makeup inside our bodies that determines that. That's actually what my mentor in the lab won his Nobel Prize for, that there are genes in our body that control whether you're a morning lark or an owl. And so if you're an owl, you will always have problems going to bed, because this is when you want to be awake, and your melatonin in particular will not come on until much later, telling your body that it's time to go to sleep. So taking melatonin will help a night owl be tired a little earlier and therefore get up in the morning earlier. Check with your pediatrician regarding the exact dose, but this can be a great tool. Thank you all so much for joining, and check out my account, kulalaland. Check out my website, kulalaland.com. We will post discount codes for my lamp, the beautiful lamp that looks good in any environment and has like touch dimming, so that you can silently turn it on and off. It's made from maple wood. Look at this beauty. And you can get it cheaper. And also you could get the whole package, which is the lamp plus my book plus the app. So you have the whole solution for sleep, for children's sleep, although the book also explains about adult sleep a bit. And go find my app. It's called the Kulala app. And again, it's a paid app. It costs $5.99 a month, which is still a lot cheaper than an actual sleep coach. And it's basically my brain in your pocket. And again, we'll give you a discount code so you can use the app for free for a month. However, if you buy the lamp, you get it also, you get a discount code. And if you buy the whole package, you even get it for free for 6 months. So this is what I kind of created to help the world of parents sleep better. And that's kind of what I want to do. I don't think sleep deprivation is something that we just have to accept. We don't need to suffer. There are specific things from science and from sleep that we can do, from sleep science and from circadian rhythms, from chronobiology, that we can use to help our baby and therefore us sleep better. You know, moms already, and parents and caregivers already have enough on their plate. And so I'm here to help you at least get good sleep, because if you get good sleep, you can be a better parent, you can be a better caregiver, you can feel better. Sleep deprivation causes depression and all kinds of other health problems, and it doesn't have to be like that. Okay, love you all, and I'm always here when you need me. Happy sleeping.